Alright, we're going to be doing some live video editing. Just a short video here. Alright, let's see. Alright, let's see if we can get some editing done. Alright, so this here is a timeline with some video that was shot at LAX. So I edited this video a while back. This is essentially a compilation of different clips for my LAX plane spotting a while back. So I shot this with my Canon R5. Alright, so I'm going to show you just really quick how I went about editing the footage, how I selected the images, and the first thing you want to do is you want to just think about what it is that you're trying to accomplish with the footage, with the video. And once you have that determined, do you want to do a compilation video, or do you want to do a video specifically on one airplane? Once you narrow that information down, you want to go ahead and start. You want to start a few different things. You want to start first finding the most interesting clip that you think you have of that day. In this situation, I have a video of this 747, the Atlas Air 747 taking off. I went ahead and just shot the video. All right, so what I did is, let me see if I can find this video. So I right click, I go over to reveal in project. It locates the file. What I like to do is, once I have the files imported into Premiere, I go ahead and I just do a create. I right click, new sequence from clip. You can create a sequence based on specific settings that you prefer, whatever your preferences are. But I just do new sequence from clip. Once I have that selected, it creates a sequence based on the information of that clip, whatever parameters, whatever codec, file settings, all that. It creates. So basically, if you shoot this in 4K, it'll give you a 4K sequence. If you shoot it in 8K, or 1920, it'll create a sequence based on that setting. If you have multiple audio channels, it'll give you different audio channels here. So I just like to keep that simple. Again, this is how I edit this. This is not saying that this is the right way or the wrong way, but this is just a simple way of doing it. All right, so right click and it'll give you the file here. So if you hit F, it basically does a match frame. So go to the beginning, click up here, go to the beginning of the timeline, hit F. It'll give you it'll basically match the frame that you're on your timeline. It'll match it in your source window. So that's already my endpoint. This icon here is showing you my endpoint. So this is this is about a 15-minute clip that I'm showing here. So this is the raw footage. I knew that airplane was lining up. I knew the 747 was lining up, so I wanted to just be ready. And then this airplane was. So what I like to do, and I do this with everything that I shoot, especially when there's something that I'm waiting for. A lot of it is hurry up and wait when it comes to this, but I try to kind of anticipate the shot. So if I wanted a shot of this airplane rolling into my shot, into a shot, then I jump ahead of it. I'll stop, kind of lock the camera and wait for the object, the action to enter my shot. So I hurry up, I pan over, I wait for the airplane, I anticipate that, I lock it, and then boom, it's done. All right, and then I have a little bit of that that steam coming through the shot. Okay, and I do that. I give myself a little bit of pad at the beginning. I mean, a pad at the end, and a little bit of room at the beginning, so that I'm able to play with the edit. If I wanted to do a dissolve, if I wanted to do a fade to black, fade to white, whatever it is that I want to do, I have a little bit of handles at the beginning and at the end. So let's see. All right, so I got that shot. Even though I am waiting for that 747 to take off, I was also able to get that clip. So I kind of had one eye on the KLM, and then another one I was kind of ready for that 747 to take off. All right, I pan back and I get the airplane. So mostly I probably won't decided I wasn't going to use most of that. And this is about where I started using it, about here when it kind of reveals from the tree. Let's see. Yeah, that's about where I had it. And then I hit an endpoint. So if you hit I, it'll give you an endpoint. I hit spacebar. I'll watch it. Okay. Or just scrub. Okay, I keep panning over. Okay, keep that shot. Shot ends about there. I can keep going for it, wait for it to leave the screen. I can do that. I usually let it go. Just let it disappear. Okay. So I think I ended up dissolving about here. So you can do a couple different things. You can there's a shortcut for this footage, go like an insert edit, but if you click and you click on this source and you drag it onto your timeline, it basically drops your audio and your video and your audio together. So, but let's say that you only want to do video, so then you click on this film strip icon here, drag video only, and I just drag the video. Or if I wanted to do audio only, I click and I drag audio only. So you essentially just drag whatever it is that you want to drag here, or just do both. Or you can just use a keyboard shortcut. All right, I hit play, I preview my shot. In this case, it was you have the audio there, and I just let this shot roll. Pretty simple. Now, I believe in my original video, or the video that I completed, I did some color adjustments. So I went over to Lumetri color. If the Lumetri color is not window is not open, just go to Windows, go down to Lumetri color, and make sure that it's checked. So once that's checked, it should appear here. If it's not here, it'll end up somewhere down here by the bins. See the arrow here? These the two arrows. If you click there, you'll have a bunch of other stuff here that is not all the hidden tabs. Same thing with here. So sometimes it'll end up in different places. In this case, it's here. I already have it set up. I go down to exposure. You can adjust the exposure. If you double click here, this didn't do it, but if you click here, let me go down to 0. This is basically how it was shot, but I can increase the exposure a little bit. Okay, the only problem with that is that once it gets here to the brighter part, it kind of washes it out. So watch, let's go to 0. Okay, it's a little better, or I do 1. Boom. Okay, we could do 1. That works. No big deal. Okay. And if you want to saturate the shot just a little bit, you could just do it here. This is extremely saturated. You know, black and white. You can do just a little bit. You can also click there. You can click on the numbers here on the little, and it'll creates a little box, and then you can type in the value. All right. You can change the color temperature here. If you don't white balance correctly on your camera, you can adjust it here. Now, don't let that fool you. If you don't white balance correctly and you're not shooting RAW or C-Log or S-Log or any log, you may not get the colors, the natural colors back. So it's always ideal, it's always best if you white balance on camera, on location. Again, unless you are shooting RAW or S-Log or C-Log, just white balance on camera. It's a good rule of thumb to do it. Both for photo, especially photo, but I mean especially video, but both photo and video. All right, so I have my color balance. I have everything. So this is looking a little washed out and a little flat. So you can also lower the highlights. So these are the highlights. Just lower the highlights here. You can increase the contrast. The blacks, add a little bit more in the blacks. Reduce the whites a little bit. There's a few different things you can do here to help improve that. All right, so scrub back, hit play. Now, once you start messing with the Lumetri color menu, if your computer doesn't have the horsepower to, you know, for adequate for editing, that's when your computer is going to start to bog down. So it's a good idea for you to make sure you have enough juice before you start messing with the Lumetri color. Especially there are some effects that take up a bunch of RAM, and you know, if your computer doesn't have if it doesn't have the horsepower, your computer's not going to be happy with you, and it's going to make editing miserable, and you're going to hate it. I have a Mac Studio. It's got a bunch of RAM. I don't even know how much RAM it has. It's been a while since I checked, but I got the Ultra with like a million gigs of RAM or something like that. But anyway, so just select your clip, Boom, you start editing. Let's say that you are happy with this clip. All right, cool. You can either add an intro, you can do a tag at the end, do whatever it is that you want to do. If you want this video to stand alone, that's fine. But let's say that you want to adjust, you shot this in 4K and you really want to get a close-up of the atlas here. If you go to effects control, you can zoom in. So see, if I need to be selected on the clip before I can adjust the effects, the controls. So go to effect control and then go to scale. I can now zoom in really close. As you can tell, my lens was a little dirty, but so let's see, let me adjust this. Let me get this to where I can keep the airplane in the frame as much as possible. All right, so let's say you want to get a super close shot. You can do this by zooming in, you're scaling in. If your shot is not centered and steady, this is going to be tough to do, where you can keep the airplane in the center. There are ways for you to do this, and the best way to do this is in After Effects. So just, let me click here, let me go back to where let me reset that. There's a way to keep this shot steady and centered and zoomed in without losing pixels. By zooming in Premiere, by scaling, you're essentially stretching pixels. You're cutting into the pixels, and it's gonna reduce the quality. You can do this. You can reduce resolution. You can do this in After Effects, and it will. Basically you add a camera to your canvas and you zoom in using the software, and it maintains the resolution looking superb, looking really nice. But in Premiere, it will reduce the resolution whenever you zoom in. A lot of times, if you shoot 4K, I believe this one I shot in. Let's see, I forgot what okay, I shot this in 4K. I think I shot this in 30p. So I should have shot it in 60, just to give it that little crisp look. But yeah, I shot this in 30p, 4K. Okay, so now let's say that you selected this clip, you're good to go, you're happy with that. You can export it, just Command Shift M, and it'll give you the export options, and then you can upload that that file to YouTube. But let's say that I want to do a compilation of a couple different clips. I can definitely do that. Let's see. You can go back. Let me locate this clip. Let me find another clip to edit. All right, let's see. This is, I want to combine this clip with, so this is a shot I have of a couple different airplanes moving. There's a lot going on, of course, in LAX. There's always things, there's always airplanes moving, there's always airplanes taking off. So this is, I was anticipating, I locked my shot-ish and waited for that Finnair airplane to roll up. And then once it rolls out, boom, then I noticed that Southwest plane ahead. I let that roll through. and then I cut. Let's combine the Atlas Air with this British Airways. So we got you got two British Airways airplanes. So let's see, British Airways, or should I do KLM? I like the KLM. Let's see, what else do we have? Southwest. Let's combine this with a different clip. We could do a clip of just heavies. This is not a heavy, obviously. Let's see. We could, all right, here we go. We can use this clip and then combine it with the airplane taking off. Let's see, there's another one here. I believe I also have that one taken off. Polaris. So that Finnair when I was landing. I don't think I've used this shot here. All right, so let's see if we can do a sequence with the Finnair. All right, so we're gonna do a sequence of, see if we can get a decent shot of it landing. I think we lost it here, and all right, let's do it right when the camera pans down. So maybe start it about here. Let's go back a little bit. If you want to slowly go back, you can use the arrows. Just hold down the arrows, and right there when the camera pans down a little. Okay, hit I, and I hit play. It's pretty good. And right when we lose it, lost it right about there, right there. Okay, so I hit my out, I hit O, and it gives me my out point. Then I hit the space bar, stops the video. I click and drag both the video. Okay, so another tip here, when you're dragging something and see how it's not snapping to the next anything, you know, it's not snapping to the next clip or to the cursor here. Turn on the snap in timeline, so this little magnet icon. Now I come back and then bam, it snaps. See how it just snaps to the next clip or the next cut. So boom, it snaps. All right, so I hit play. If I hit L, it'll speed things up, and just be ready with the space bar. Hold the space bar. It's gonna cut in right. I'm gonna hit endpoint. It's gonna cut in right about there. All right. Let it roll. Let it roll. I hit L and stop right there. hit out point, click drag. Again, the click and drag thing is not necessarily faster, it's just a habit for me. That just been doing it for so long that it's just, you just kind of get stuck with certain habits. Shortcuts are definitely better. But so I did a right click and I have a dissolve here. It's a preset dissolve. See, that to me was a little too much of this. So you can adjust it by you can do the ripple edit or you can do the slip tool. So if I click and drag, it's going to start the clip. I want it to start right about there. So bam, right there. Okay. And again, that was the slip tool. Now this isn't the best shot in the world. My camera was not balanced, or my tripod was not balanced. But I will show you how we can compensate for that. Okay, I think this is where I'm going to start to edit my clip out. Now I have to find that clip of the fin air going into my shot. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Fin air. Okay. I think I was just panning super quick without, I was just trying to get the shot, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, I can balance my tripod when I get back in post. And let it go through. I usually let this pan, oh, okay, I moved it too soon. All right, I drag it over, right click, hit dissolve. You can set the duration, or you can just drag it. All right, go here, and right, I think I move it right there. Okay, see, that's when I start shaking the tripod. So let's clip that. Okay, let's go back. And I don't know if I have another fin air shot. Oh, I do. Actually, right there, hidden point. Go right there. And I click and I drag to about there. Okay, hit out, drag it, snaps, right click, edit. Again, you can set the duration by right clicking or just adjusting it manually. Okay, stop right there. Not too sure if I have. I think that's it for fin air. I think those are all the shots that I have. We could do the shot of the condor landing. Let's see. I don't think I've used this shot. I don't know if it's a good shot to begin with. Let's see. I sometimes start to shoot it, and if I don't think that I'm able to get a good shot, or if something else is happening that is probably a better shot or better action than whatever I'm on, I'll just move my camera and end up not using it. I do that quite a bit. Sometimes I also screw up the shot by just, doing like a rough movement on the tripod, and by that point, at that point I'm like, okay, that shot is obviously not going to work. I'll move on to the next one. All right, and okay, so cool. I'll stop the clip there. Then I come back out and I zoom out. So another thing that I do is I like to edit in camera. So just think of when you're out there shooting, just think of how you're going to edit this. It is best for you not to edit from a medium shot to a medium shot to a medium shot. You want to do like close-ups, mediums, wide. So you want to go from like a medium shot to a wide shot, or a close-up to a wide shot, or a close-up to a medium shot. Going from a close-up to a close-up sometimes doesn't give you the best look, but going from a medium shot, which I consider this sort of a medium shot. I am zoomed into this object, and then I zoom out and I get this wide shot anticipating, and I changed it up. So ideally I should have waited for this as a wide shot, but I ended up zooming in here. Not sure why I did that. Okay, so let's see if we can, that's not interesting enough. Okay, right there. So start it there, endpoint, fast forward a little, get it to where right before I pan over to the KLM taking off. All right, that's it. It's not in, I start moving the camera, so let's see if we can edit that in. Another shortcut for your timeline, plus or minus. Once you clicked onto the timeline here, you click on it, make sure you're selected. Plus or minus will zoom in and zoom out. All right, so it's landing. Then I right click here, apply my default transition. Okay, see how I started moving the shot? I want to cut that out. I want to cut away from that. So I'll drag, I can drag my clip just wherever I have this cursor set, and let's just use that as my marker, and then bam, there we go. Got rid of that ugly pan. So let this zoom through a little, or let the airplane go by, and then right before I start doing the rough tripod movements, I want to cut again. Right there. I don't like that. So let's go back. Give it, okay, a few frames. Let's shoot that. And I believe I have the condor. Let's see. All right, this is the beginning of the clip. Right about there. Let's see. Yeah. Right before, let's get rid of the crazy camera movement. Right about there. All right, so I think I already have that clip pre-edited or pre-selected. Right click, do default transition, drag, I like to do the manual, and okay. So I go through, let me speed it up a little. So another thing you can do here is you can cut this particular clip into another one right there, into 3 clips. So stop there. If I hit C for the razor tool, then I can splice this into 2 separate clips. You know, it's seamless here, right? But see how it gives you 2 different clips? I'm actually gonna go to this second clip, and I'm going to click select, go to effect control, and I'm actually going to click on the scale. If you put your cursor on the numbers here, on the value, and just slide from left to right, you can actually zoom in. I want to zoom in to about 260, and then just pan this over a little bit so we can see the engine, and then maybe adjust up position. Let's see what this looks like. Let me actually dissolve. Let me do the dissolve so we can get the real feel of what it's going to look like. Play. Bam. Nice. All right. Cool. I like that. I like the way that looked. The only thing is, it looks kind of weird here. I feel like it's going. It almost feels like it's. Let's see. Maybe dissolve it faster. Or just cut. Let's see what it looks like if you cut. Let's see. Maybe start it a little bit later. There's something about that shot that I'm not. Right there. Let me see. It's a little better. Or I could. Let's see. Just want the shot. Something about it. I don't know if it's when I start moving the camera, it kind of repeats. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll adjust this over, cut that first shot sooner. 2 1000, 3 1000, and then this one, cut it about there, and then zoom this one out a little bit. There we go. It just feels a little more natural. So there we go. You get to actually appreciate the airplane. I mean, you can totally zoom in, but then that might look a little weird. Let's see. Yeah. So if you ever wonder how they get those super close-up shots, a lot of times they'll just zoom in. But see how it just looks pixelated and degraded? It's because it's actually stretching the pixels, and it's not good when it comes to video. You really don't want to do that. The best, of course, the best thing is a lot of the time, you know, they're using when you're plane spotting, you're using a lens of 600 millimeter or greater when you're standing far away, or you can get that closer shot, you know, with a telephoto lens. So some people have the telephoto lens that allows you to get a little closer, and sometimes it's you're cropping in camera where you'll shoot 4K, 8K, and then your timeline is created at 1920 by 1080. Then you're essentially cropping in on the timeline without adjusting the pixels. Really, you're just only editing within this window, and you're not losing resolution. It maintains the resolution. You're just only looking at a portion of the entire frame. So if 4K is you know, taking up, you know, all this area, but you're only showing a fraction of the entire 4K window. All right, so We have a few clips here. Let's just watch the video. Let's play it. Okay, playing it from the beginning. All right, so I'm just watching these. I usually go back and I'll watch the entire edit and just, you know, see if there's anything that I need to adjust or edit, or let's see. And thank you to the 2 people that are watching the video. So I'm just doing this at 10, well, it's 11 o'clock. It's 11 p.m., but sometimes there's just so much going on in the day that this is many times the best time for me to sit at the computer and actually do some editing. All right, so going back to Premiere. Let's see. Okay, so how do we fix this cricket video? All right, we're gonna go in here, and the shot is actually cropped in somehow. Let's see. Let's reset this. This is shifted over somehow. All right, okay, so we're gonna go to rotation. If you come over here to the, make sure you're selected on the clip, come over to effect control, and then there should be a rotation. Where is it? Oh. Where's the rotation? Did they move it? Scale. So this is the scale. Oh, how did I miss that? All right, so, and I'm gonna use the building here, this line as my guide. So I'll zoom in a little bit, pan it over, and then I'm gonna select, make sure you're set to fit. All right, so obviously way off here. So now I'm sure there's a better way of doing this. If you have a better way, feel free to share that in the chat, but this is essentially how you do it manually. Okay, so now the shot's a little more straight. And when I'm doing this, if there's like signage, anything that you can save and not crop out, just, you know, it just makes it nicer where I'm not cropping out United. Okay, this is a little crooked here too, and how you can tell is the buildings. The buildings are a little bit off, not by much, but just a little bit. So you can, it's almost nothing, but let's see, 0.05, no, let's see, minus 0.1. Let's see, minus 0.2, minus, that looks better. All right, let's see. Scale. You want to make sure that you're not showing any sort of black. See how this is all black here? You don't want to show any of that. You want to zoom in to where, and you look on all four corners and you're not seeing any of the screen being the black creeping here on the corners. All right, this shot is also crooked. This one's off a little. Okay, so select the clip, scale in a little bit, rotate, go to rotation, it's about good right there, and zoom in some more. See how it's showing the black up here? So zoom in a little bit, bam. So we're good. This one's straight. There we go. It's a little better. All right. So I zoom out, I hit home, and then it starts it over. So I know those were a lot of steps, but essentially what you want to do is just get the clips. Just first come up with a plan, come up with an idea. What is it that you want to edit? What kind of video you're trying to edit? If you want to create a video of the Condor, you're just going to show clips of the Condor landing. Then you start with, okay, I'm going to start with the clip of the Condor landing, and then the shots that you take right after it lands. Do you want to do clips of thin air? Then just a series of videos of thin air, shots of heavies. Are you going to do a compilation shot of shots of heavies? Look through all your footage, find what works best. There's a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different options. Let's see. So once you have this done and selected, I personally use a logo that I have. These are some of the other videos that I've done in the past. And this little logo here, which is here. So I have a logo that's already loaded. I'm just trying to find one that goes with this particular video size. Let's see. I've used this in the past. All right, so this is the logo. I can right click, find it in Premiere or in my project, or just go to Reveal in Project, or I can just click on it, on that clip, on that logo. It's a PNG. Copy. So I do I select it, do Command C, and then I go back to my original timeline. If I can remember where I left it, there it is. And then I come over here and then I can paste the logo Okay, sorry, I'm back. So where were we? Okay, so I copied this icon or this logo from it's a clip that I had from a different timeline, and I usually have them here on my projects, but it was already open on my timeline. It's already sized, I believe, and then I just do a Command V, and it drops it onto my current timeline. So here it is. I drag it over, and I just resize it to fit this area. Now you want to make sure that your logo is, or whatever icon or whatever graphic you have is, whoa, hold on, let's see. Something was a little weird there. Yeah, so you once you have the graphic there, make sure that it's fit. Now, you can change the opacity of just click here, adjust the opacity. You can, let's go with, let's say 90% opacity. So there's a little transparency to it. All right, looks like that works. I like the way that looks. Let's see. So once you have your video done, completed with, with how you want this to look, if you want to do like a dissolve in, you can. If you want to just dissolve it out, simple, no problem. You can also, I believe I have a graphic. So let's see, I have this here. Since I've already created some of this, I can just copy what I have and apply it to, this is some of the other edits that I have, but you can go back and just apply your current, you can apply, you just do it one time and then rinse and repeat. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Especially since it's a graphic file, you can adjust it, you can drag it. There we go. So you can drag on this graphic file, just drag it over. I put this over here at the end, like my final edit portion of it. Bam, it's already done. All right, so go to end. So this is the Spirit Airlines information. You can, keep this or just remove it. Just turn it off here and it won't appear in your final export. If it's on, it will show up. Or you can just click here, hit delete. Oh, sorry, I'm beginning to fall asleep here. But yeah, so it's just click here and hit delete if you don't want it, or just leave it, turn it off. All right, I think that's pretty much it for this one here. Let's say you want to do a dissolve in. You want to dissolve in. Right click. Added the default transition there, which is a cross dissolve, and there it is. Let's say you want to do music. you can do music where you can, whatever music you've purchased, or you can also, if you're using Premiere, Adobe Premiere has music, stock music. You can buy music, drag it in here, which I believe I have some music that already. Let's see, what do we have here? Just for this, just to test this out. I think my audio settings are off here. One sec, let me adjust this. Let's see, audio hardware. Hit OK. Do not want to use my Sonos. See if that, hopefully it doesn't screw things up. I don't think we're getting. So if you add music, one thing you're going to notice is that music is going to be extremely loud compared to your microphones or anything like that. So let's lower this down. You can either lower this line here, or just right click. Sorry, you can just do G for gain. You do -5. It'll bring it down. But I don't think I'm going to use music for this clip. You could use music. What I had to do was I have Adobe credits, so that I have from Adobe stock. I have a bunch of credits that I can use from Adobe stock, and so I can essentially just go into Essential Sound that I want to license. I believe that they also have music that is free, but if you want to license music, all you type in information here, start looking for music. If you want to narrow it down, you want like rock, hip hop, whatever it is that you want, you can find that music, search for that music. Once you select it, you find music that you like, you click on the music, and then you can basically just drag it over to your timeline. Once it's on your timeline, you can edit, you can do everything to the song, but when you go export, it is not going to be licensed. So you need to first license the song. I believe you have to click here, then it'll take you to Adobe stock, and then you essentially license the song. It's all linked within Premiere here, but it licenses the track, and then you have to replace the track. If you right click, replace the track with just relink it and just replace it with the purchased file. So it's pretty simple. It sounds a little more convoluted than what it is, but it's pretty simple. If you do want to, they make it pretty simple. and they have pretty good tracks. Or if you want to import your own track from, let's say, a different, you know, service, you can totally do that. Just make sure that you have that license agreement on file, just in case YouTube wants to flag it. But yeah, so this is how I edit my videos. I'm going to do another video about the camera settings and what I use, how I use the R5 to plane, to do plane spotting, and I'll do a setting. I'll do a tutorial on the settings, and it's just mainly what I use. Again, this is not the best way of doing this by any means. This is just the way that I do this, the way that I edit. I'm usually editing a lot faster than this, but yeah. So thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna be doing some more of this as well, where I'll shoot something, come back, and we'll edit something together. I appreciate